what should people be looking for when they're looking at books or financials?
So I would say the number one thing is validating, tying back the top line revenue to bank statements. Or I mean, bank statements is always going to be your number one in tax returns, because if they're reporting that, everything else, you, as I said, you could fill in. The next thing is that you want to look for is their utility usage. Again, there's ways to finagle it or make it seem like you're doing more business than you are, but those your utility bills directly from the utility provider are going to be your number two. Then you're going to say, all right, if you're saying you're doing this in payroll, show me your Gusto report for the year, show me your ADP report for the year. Everything, you want to go back to the source, because you don't want to just say, all right, well, here's a piece of paper from the seller. They're not going to just put it on a platter for you to make it easy and validate everything. You're going to need to work for it, and the more certainty you have and tying it back to the source, the more comfortable you're going to feel moving forward with the transaction. So it's just piecing it together, where when you first look at it, there's a lot of pieces. It's overwhelming no matter how long you've been in it, but you don't look at it that way. You look at, okay, let's validate this line item. Okay, let's move to the next one, the next one, the next one. Does this make sense? And just thinking through it logically. If it's a store with 15-year-old machines and they're showing no maintenance expense, well, why? There has to be some sort of maintenance expense on 15-year-old machines. There's no way there isn't. What's their? They have to clean the store. They have to clean the laundry if they're doing wash and fold. Well, what's their soap costs and these things? Because that's, again, it's not massive money, but it's still a couple grand a year in detergents that they should be showing on there. So you just want to make sure it logically checks out, and things that you normally would incur are being included on the operating statement they're providing.
And that can be easier said than done too. I've just seen a lot of owners who are skimming off the top, and bank statements aren't going to match, and and all that. And so, it kind of puts you at a point where you need to decide, okay, am I going to value it off of what the numbers, that trail is saying? And am I going to value it off that and buy it off that price, or am I going to value it off what they're saying? And obviously, there's a lot
Oh,
more risk
yeah,
that way. Yeah, go for it.
absolutely. And even like just small things, like I do it myself, where it's okay. I need to go to Sam's Club or Walmart and get detergent because I'm out. I'll take $200 out of the register and go there and get it. That's not going to be that isn't reflected on my P&L. I'm not looking to sell it right now, but also on my end, my top line is looking. It's not showing that $200 that I pulled out, and it's not showing the $200 in expense. So it's netting out, but like just things, even when people are not trying to hide something, there's things that aren't going to account perfectly.
Yeah, and the way that I describe it is, I sort of half joke. If you've been to a webinar, like I sort of half joke, like there's a range of what the top line income could be for a laundromat. And, generally, it's somewhere on the spectrum of, on the high end, it's what they're telling you is coming into the laundromat. And on the low end, it's what they're telling the government. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. So I half joke about that, but that's kind of true. And then our goal during due diligence is to narrow that range as much as possible and get as close a picture. And the reality is, if it's a coin-based store, cash-based store, you're not going to know exactly how much is coming into that thing until you take it over. But you can get pretty close by layering on different, verification methods and, doing what Brian said, going through all the line items and following the source as much as possible.
Yeah, like if it's a coin store, like the only true way you're going to do it is like you're going to have to spend a Saturday and a Sunday sitting there watching how many people come in the store, counting coins at the end of those 2 days with the owner to validate that. So it's time consuming, but you're making a big investment. So 2 days is really nothing in the long term of your financial success.
One little hack on that is I always try to get into my offers, and I tell this to my clients all the time, consulting clients, is, try to get into that contract that you'll get access to the camera system during due diligence. Now, a lot of times, business owners in general, but especially laundromat owners, are very cagey when it comes to people prying into their businesses and having access like that. But sometimes you can get access to the camera system, and then you can actually kind of scrub through in your underwear on the couch instead of going there on a Saturday or Sunday and see exactly how many people are coming in, where they're doing their laundry, and how much money's coming in that day too. And then you can also go do the counts and verify that. So that's a little hack you can utilize sometimes there. Sometimes the owner will say, I'm not giving you access. So